कौन है हजरत अब्बास इब्न अली, जिनके लिए तहज्जुद में मौला ने दुआ मांगी हो? वो अली जिनके हसन हुसैन जैसे बेटे हों और कहें परवरदिगारा एक ऐसा बेटा दे जो करबला में मेरी नुमाइंदगी करे। आज अली मांग रहे हैं।
to And no one can deny Azadari for Abu Abdullah Hussein as one of the greatest sha'a'ir of the religion, banners of the religion. And this Azadari that Shia people, they do, and they used to do from a long time. It takes its roots from the sayings of our imams. They encourage people. They encourage us to do azadari for Abu Abdullah Hussein. And it is in its nature, it is a connection between the holy feelings of us and the holy feelings of Abu Abdullah Hussein and his companions and Bani Hashim who got killed, who got martyred in the Arab. So there is a connection between us. This connection should remain. In this ziyarat of Ashura, that it is mustahab to be recited in the day of Ashura, and not only the day of Ashura, because kullu yawmin Ashura wa kullu ardin Karbala, every day is Ashura, and every place is Karbala. They recommended us to recite this ziyarah every day. This part of the ziyarah that I recited, this ziyarah has many ideas, very good ideas in it. Parts of it are worthy of discussion and debate. I mentioned this part that is recited 100 times, and the part before that. Two parts of this ziyarah is recited 100 times. The first part is the part of bara'ah from the enemies of Abu Abdullah Hussein, the ones who oppressed Ahlul Bayt, not only Abu Abdullah Hussein, the one who established oppression against Ahlul Bayt. The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and Yazid, who was the fifth one. So he cursed them 100 times. Allahumma al'an awwala zalimin zalama haqqa Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad wa akhira tabi'in lahu ala dhalik. Allahumma al'an al-asabata allati jahadat al-Husayn. Oh Allah, curse the people who fought with Imam Hussein. وَشَايَعَتْ وَبَايَعَتْ وَتَابَعَتْ عَلَىٰ. The ones who helped. Curse them. اللهم العنهم جميعا. Allah curse them all. We say it 100 times. In the second time, the second part that is again recited 100 times in Ziyarat Ashur, you say Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. O Abu Abdullah, our salam to you. وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك, and to the souls that they came down, they became martyrs on the door of the step door of you, the followers of you, the companions of you. عليك مني سلام الله, the salam from Allah on behalf of me to you. أبدا ما بقيت, as long as I stay in this world. وبقي الليل والنهار last ziyarah of me to you. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. In dua nudbah, in the prayer of nudbah, we say فلمثله فلتذرف الدموع بل يصرخ الصارخون. The thing that is emphasis in the morning for Abu Abdullah Hussein is crying and weeping. If you count the sayings of Imams, that how they emphasis on crying for Abu Abdullah Hussein, and the virtue of the ones who make people cry for Abu Abdullah, you would find hundreds of them in the different books that we have. And we have لاطمات الوجوه from at the Asra Ashura, the Ahl Bayt Abu Abdullah Hussein, once they heard that Abu Abdullah Hussein became martyred, they were the first mourners of Abu Abdullah Hussein. So in the Riwayah says, they came out Latamat al-Wudu. They started beating themselves like this. Latamat al-Wudu. And they teared their clothes. And in this Riwayah says, فَلِمِثْلِهِ, for someone like Abu Abdullah Hussein, an Imam, infallible Imam like Abu Abdullah Hussein, who was son of the Prophet, they have to do so. And it is recommended to do so. These are the things that is recommended. In the morning for Abu Abdullah Hussein, salawatullah, salawatullah. Of course, there are some a'mal for the day of Ashura that it is mustahab. It is recommended that you do them. For example, you don't make fast. Keep fast. Don't keep fast, but don't eat anything. And only at the end of the day, you break. The same thing that we have. It is recommended. This tradition is honored. This faqa shekani that you have, it is the same thing that it is recommended in the Riwayah. It is there. So if you go around the Shia countries all around the world and see these things that have come in the Riwayah and are recommended, they are the basic things that we are ordered to keep them. These are the basic things. As the history went on, some groups of people from themselves, they started creating some new things for mourning for Abu Abdullah. And because these things could fall under the subject of showing the feelings for Abu Abdullah, showing the sadness for Abu Abdullah. So they were accepted. Something like Sinazani that we have. This Sinazani, if you go all around the world and search in the countries, are nearly the same. These are good things. You have to keep them. These are good. But there are some other things not the things. You cannot find this kind of thing in Riwayah, that says go and do this and that. Some of the things that we thought that it is for the good, for the benefit of Abu Abdullah Hussein, is good for our people, so we established that sunnah, that tradition, and people accept. But in a certain time came some situations that there are some of these things that we can change the way of doing it. But it became, because of the nature of it, it became a means in the hands of the enemies of Islam to propagate against Shia. I was studying in one of the books of called Sheikh Abbas Qummi, you have to know, all of you know, because you are familiar with this book, Mafatihul Jinan, that is all over the Shia countries. This book, wherever you find a Quran, you can find Mafatih beside it. And this man was amazing in ikhlas and in intention of him, that he created a book that became the sister of Quran. He's a very pious man. I don't want just now to speak about how he was pious. He has a book. Its name is Muntahal Awan. The meaning of this in Arabic, Muntahal Awan, is the last wishes. End of the wishes. This book is about the story of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And it has a section about Abu Abdullah Hussein and Karbala, and many people, if you ask Molana John Ali Kazemi, he is familiar with this book, and he would speak about the significance of this book among ulama. Many ulama and Ahl Minbar, they use this book. I was studying this book today. He has, at the end of the section concerning Karbala, he has a section speaking about the manner of mourning for Abu Abdullah Hussein. And exactly he had this recommendation that this mourning for Abu Abdullah Hussein, after he put the emphasis on the mourning and azadari for Abu Abdullah Hussein, he recommends the groups of Shia that you have to omit the things that he has mentioned. Other countries that they are putting, he has the same word, they put your actions under this devices for making things bigger, microscopes or under microscopes. They put your actions under this. You have to omit the thing that, first of all, is not Shar'i. The things you have to purify your rituals, your traditions from these kind of things, and he named some of them. But it was very interesting for me that he mentioned the same thing that today they speak about as Bahn Madhab. Bahn Madhab meaning belittling Madhab. I have spoken about this and I'm going to speak about this tonight, inshallah. So these are the whole things. Why I said this? Because I want to clarify this point, that if we want to change some of the ways of doing what forbid that we stay one day without mourning for our Abdullah Hussein. God kill us if we want to do it, have this intention. We want to glorify, to purify the ways that we intended. This is not the intent, the thing that Imam ordered us. If you think that this kind of thing that we do, all of them are recommended by Imam, it's not so. You have to correct your mind. The thing that is recommended and they have told us are those several things that I told you. Weeping for Imam Hussein salawatullah alayhi, to be sad in heart and to beat yourself like this or like this. That we do sinazani all over the world and to tear the clothes. These are the things that is recommended. Our Imam has said, and they did it. And reciting poems for Abu Abdullah Hussein in order to make people cry. And reciting matam for Abu Abdullah Hussein recommended. They ordered us to do that. And until the day is there, the night is there, we have to do that. Without any doubt. No one can say you have to seize them. No. It's not possible. But rather, the way of doing it during the process of the time can be changed. And this is not the changing the things that Imam has ordered us. We have to think that what is proper for what time and what place. And recommend it. And our action shows, alhamdulillah, in the Muharram time, you all brothers and sisters, you are witness that we had very profound and very fantastic things. Motam was there, Menbar was there, reciting poems was there, classes, that these classes that some people, I heard that they say, why you put classes for, separate classes for children or for daughters, for girls or for boys, separate classes. These classes is about Karbala. If you cannot control your children besides yourself. If you can control them, take them with you. Let them make benefit of the majlis of Abu Abdullah Hussein. But if it is, they are going to move around and make trouble, what better than this? That we put them in a class, and God is witness that this year, 10 days of Ashura, you can ask your children. We spoke the whole history of Abu Abdullah Hussein of Karbala for children. So it is not questionable this kind of thing. I mentioned that in the Farsi English program that we have every night, I deliberately, and it is my manner and my habit, wherever I speak on member, I have to remind people of the Karbala and Abu Abdullah, and I do that. Even though I am novice in English, I cannot speak that good and explain all the things. I forced myself to do the matam for Abu Abdullah, and I hope that Abu Abdullah accepts. We are not against our Azadari for Abu Abdullah. If we recommend you brothers and sisters to change a way of doing something, it doesn't mean that we want to destroy Azadari. No, it's not. I brought an example, and I would like to bring it again. A story, they say, as an example. There were two brothers. They had a jar of milk. They wanted to drink this milk. One of them said, we have to boil this and drink it hot. The other said, we have to put it in the refrigerator and drink it cold. You have to drink the milk. The milk of love of Abu Abdullah Hussain. The thing that Ahlul Bayt had ordered us to do is to drink milk. Drink it hot or drink it cold. If there is a time that you cannot drink it hot because of wondering, you have to say, okay, I have to drink this milk. I can't drink it cold even though on my taste it is not so good. It is milk. I have the ingredients of milk. I have to drink it. But these two brothers, they didn't think wisely. They went to forest. They started beating each other. The jar of milk spoiled. Like that our community becomes an example like this. And I'm sure that none of you want to do so. Mourning for our Abdullah Hussain is the core of our religion. But the way of doing it is not the core. You can change the way. And that is why Amir al-Mu'mineen says, if you want to, salawatullah, don't be proud of your way of doing things. Put away the crown of pride. Be humble. Come together. This is the way that we have to work. The second thing that I would like to bring about and has the connection, and I think that I take the way to speak about the second thing in my first section of my speech, is the issue of Wahn Mazhab. To put down the Mazhab by doing something. Some of the things that we have is necessary, obligatory. We have to do it. Cannot say if I do it, it can maybe Wahn Mazhab. No. Something we have to avoid. We cannot say that if I avoid it, maybe they say you are a low man, or your religion is low. For example, drinking wine. If you are in a majlis, in a session that they drink wine, you have to go out. Don't pay attention to these things. But there are something that is mubah. You can do it, you cannot do it. You can choose to do it or not to do it. Even something is recommended, therefore it is better to do it. But here, some situation comes for that doing this, other people that are observing us cannot digest it. And you don't have any way to justify it, to explain it. What do you do? This issue of Wahn Mazhab is not a new thing. I spoke about it another time. I said, who among you, who is the person who can wear amama and go to his office have something else position, because my job is here with you. My job is here. If I had to go to an office, to some other place, I had to change my job. So, what is your response? Julian? Another example that I said, do it with hands. If you are invited in a session with honored people from other religions, it happens. And you order halal pizza or something proper. Or, for example, rice or something. They use here to eat with forks and spoons, or so you start eating with hands. Do you do that? It's recommended. Then what else can you do? And even after eating, lick your hands. You do it? Why you don't do it? Because you know that there isn't any way to justify this. You cannot explain it to people. If other people say, yes, if they say this individual is doing it, no problem, you can do it. But if you say, as a Muslim, I am doing this, you say, what? What a religion they have. Even though maybe scientists afterward they find out that eating with hands is very beneficial and it is good for health. Licking hands is good. But you don't do it. Why? Because it belittles madhab. You do not want a special fatwa for this. That you say, unless I get the fatwa from my marja that it is belittling madhab, I don't avoid it, I do it. So you can, if you think a little bit about things, you can understand that what is belittling madhab, what is not. These issues that came forth was after this swift progress of Shia. You may not believe it, but in this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, after the revolution, Islamic revolution of our people, Muslim people, Shia people, all around the world, because all people have after the revolution, for this swift progress. Even some people who are not formally, they didn't embrace Tashayyu, but they have said and declared that we have the same religion that this man has. Imam. They became Shia. So powers, they are saying that Shia is progress, alhamdulillah. And they say, they don't hide it. They say, our first enemy in the world in this year, you are under magnifier. This word was the same thing that I don't know what it's a magnifier. Our actions are under magnifier. They want to find a tiny thing and magnify it. So you are there. The notion of taqiyya is for what? If we shouldn't do taqiyya in this situation, where and when we have to do taqiyya? So we don't have any taqiyya in Islam. Yes, we have. Our Imam has said, "At-taqiyyatu min dini wa min din abai." Taqiyya is from my religion, and it's the religion of Ahlul Bayt, my fathers. So when we want to, and I have seen something that they say in the Ahadith of Ahlul Bayt, they say the sin of not observing taqiyya is a big sin that is hard to be forgiven. And Ahlul Bayt insulted some people who didn't consider taqiyya. So what taqiyya would have? So is it the proper way of treating our leaders, our maraji, if they say don't do this way, the things that happen, I don't want to say. Some other things. Dishonor ulama and dishonor maraji. Is it way of mourning for Abu Abdullah Hussein? Is Abu Abdullah Hussein satisfied with this action? But the blame is on us. Someone who asked for money and they didn't give him money. He said, I would go and I would do the opposite thing that Rahbari said. For 200,000 rupees. Who are we following? These people who are working for money are the ones who are thinking about the whole existence of Shia. We do not touch and feel the real danger that is for us in the world. So we don't consider why. Who we want to follow? This issue of Rahman Madhab, some people who want to play. If I want to play with a thing, I can't play anyway. Generally, they have spoken. If something is Rahman Madhab, it